Well, Merry Christmas, Canada West. I hope you're enjoying this season as much as I am. God has been so good to us, and we are enjoying the activities at Bakersfield First Church of the Nazarene. We've gone Christmas caroling. We've been to a seniors banquet. We've been to a ladies savor the season, and we are trying to share our love with our neighbors, and it's a great season. We're happy to be here. First of all, I would just like to thank you so much for your prayers on behalf of Bob, and I just want to report that God is so good. He had another PSMA PET, and this time it showed absolutely no uptake in his prostate or his lymph nodes, no cancer visible at all, which is a huge change from 6 months ago. And we went to the surgeon. He's a little confused. We believe that God has touched him. His lab work is still elevated, so we'll be kind of keeping an eye on it, but we believe that God has touched him and he's feeling really well, and we thank you for your prayers. God does answer prayer. I also want to especially thank the Olds Church and Norman Tracy for going up to work in High Prairie and help the people there. They've done an amazing job, and now they're getting closer to the finish line. They've done a lot of work, and that parsonage is going to be ready for a pastor, and we're really praying that they will soon have their pastor in a lovely parsonage. And thank you to this district who gave, who prayed, who went, and there's still more to be done. If you have an opportunity to go and help finish up some things up there, that would be most wonderful. I also want to remind you that Christmas is a time when we need to remember our missionaries. You know, the Bible is pretty clear that the virgin was to become pregnant and give birth to a son, and they were going to name him Emmanuel, which is God with us. And that is why missionaries go, because God is with us. And it's a reminder to everyone that this is a sweet time when we know that Emmanuel is with us wherever we are. And in this world of huge turmoil right now, think of the missionaries and the local missional people that are working in places like Palestine, Israel, Ukraine, all of these areas, now in Guyana, where we have so many wonderful Christian people that are under terrible, terrible duress. Just pray for them, that they will remember that God is with them at this time. Pray for those who are in difficult places where it's hard to celebrate Christmas. Pray for our missionaries whose grown children are not able to be with them for Christmas this year. Pray for our missionaries who are missing home and traditions. It's a difficult time. I know what it's like. So I just want to remind you to pray for, especially pray for Barb and Anthony Manswell. They are our Karen Connection, our very own missionaries from Canada West. And I'm going to put their email address. Please send them a greeting. And also, I know that we give a small amount as a district to our Links and Karen Connection missionaries once a year, but it would be such a blessing if you just sent a little bit to the national office in their names so that they would have a very special Christmas. We would really like to remember and bless them if at all possible. I also want to remind you, a lot of churches on our district take advantage of Nazarene Compassionate Ministries Canada, their giving catalog, and at Christmas they raise funds for livestock like goats or chickens or all kinds of things. And I'll put a little reminder here about that. And I'm going to also link this video again that shows where that money goes from. It's a pathway from the donor to the recipient, in case your people are wondering where the money that they're giving is going. And I just want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I will try to send something out next week, but if I don't, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and you celebrate Emmanuel, God with us.
Have you ever wondered how NCM Canada chooses a project to fund? Here's an example of how your gifts go a long way to bless others. A donor named Jane receives an NCM gift catalog in the mail. Jane decides to give money for 4 goats. She sends the money to the national office, and the funds are pooled together with other funds for goats. In the meantime, the Bangladesh North District identifies a need for goats in 2 communities where Nazarene churches are located.
The Bangladesh North District NCM person and district superintendent visit the 2 church communities. They decide that 60 goats are needed for 30 of the families in most need, which means that each family would receive 2 goats. This project also fits with the mission strategy for the churches in that district. The district superintendent approves the project and then lets the NCM country coordinator named Wilson know of this need. Wilson then lets the field and regional NCM coordinator know of the need. The NCM coordinators and church leaders of the field and the region together discuss and approve the project. The request for 60 goats is sent to NCM Canada by email, who then considers the request and determines if there are enough funds available.
The request is approved by NCM Canada, who then requests a detailed plan and budget. A project number is assigned to the Bangladesh Goat Project.
Wilson writes the detailed plan and the budget, which outlines all costs associated with the purchase, transport, distribution of goats, salary, and office costs. The proposal and budget are sent to NCM Canada, which is reviewed. Questions are asked for clarification.
The proposal and budget are approved. The amount of the budget is wired to NCM in Bangladesh, and Wilson acknowledges receipt of the funds.
Wilson works with the district and churches to arrange for the purchase and distribution of 60 goats to the families in need. He also works with the district and the churches to distribute the goats to the needy families and trains them on how to properly care for the goats. Throughout the project, Wilson has been collecting receipts and gathering some pictures and testimonials. He also provides a detailed narrative and financial report for NCM Canada, who receives and reviews it and may ask for more information or clarification.
The report is approved, and all the documentation for the project is filed electronically under the project number in the NCM Canada system. Pictures and stories are used in newsletters and news articles to let donors know how their funds were used. The gift catalog is revised and updated and mailed to donors. Jane receives one in the mail, and the cycle continues. Thank you for giving to NCM Canada. Your gifts are tracked and accounted for.